Picture this. More than 100 years ago, deep in the wild heart of the American frontier, surrounded by sweeping plains and thick, whispering woods, there's a little cabin, almost lost to the landscape, tucked away where few ever dared wander. Inside lives a child, not just any child, but Clara, a 10-year-old orphan with no family, no friends, and nothing but her grit to see her through the days. But don't scroll away, because what Clara does next will change everything. Her quiet act of kindness, born from the depths of isolation, sets in motion a story so powerful that it would bring warriors to her door at dawn. This isn't just a tale, it's a reminder of how courage whispers loudest when no one's watching. Stay with me. Clara's life was one of survival and solitude. She rose before the sun, chopping wood with hands calloused far beyond her years. She lived on what she could catch from the stream or find in the woods. Berries, roots, sometimes a squirrel if her traps held. Her world was silent, but not empty. She spoke to the wind, to the fire, to the stars. Her parents had died in a fever outbreak that swept the nearest settlement. The remaining townsfolk, fearing infection and superstition, left Clara behind. Months passed. Snow came. Yet her spirit, though lonely, never turned bitter. Every day she stared across the wide icy river, imagining a different life on the other side. And then, one frost-laced morning, life changed. That morning, a figure stumbled through the trees. A girl, frail and limping, wrapped in torn deerskin, her breath shallow, her eyes wide with panic. Clara didn't hesitate. She darted out barefoot, her own feet numbed by the snow. The girl collapsed in her arms. Clara, though unable to understand her words, saw everything she needed to know in the swelling around her ankle and the tears frozen on her cheeks. With care only a child of empathy could give, Clara carried her inside, laid her near the fire, and poured her the last of her meager soup. She wrapped the girl in every spare cloth she owned. For 3 days, Clara fed her, cleaned her wounds, and simply sat beside her, telling stories she knew the girl couldn't understand, but which made them both feel less alone. The girl's name, she learned later, was Ayanna. And when Ayanna smiled, carving a tiny fox from firewood as thanks, Clara felt something she hadn't felt in months. Connection. But Ayanna couldn't stay. She had to return to her people. Clara knew this, though the thought of being alone again ached more than the cold ever had. So together they walked to the river. Clara fashioned a crutch from a branch and wrapped Ayanna's foot in her own scarf. The river was half frozen and roared like it knew what was at stake. Clara held Ayanna tight, guiding her across inch by inch. On the far bank, figures emerged, tall, strong, dressed in hides and paint, their faces unreadable. 10 warriors. Clara froze, but Ayanna limped forward and pointed back, her voice urgent and firm. One elder stepped forward, eyes locked on Clara. He bowed, then turned. They disappeared silently into the forest, Ayanna safe within their circle. Clara stood there for a moment, alone again. She thought the story was over. She was wrong. At first light the next morning, Clara awoke to the sound of hooves. Rushing to the door, she found not 10, but 30 warriors waiting silently in the dawn light. They said nothing. Instead, they laid down gifts, blankets warmer than any she'd owned, baskets of food, tools, even a bow her size. The elder from before stepped forward. This time he spoke. His voice was gravel, laced with warmth. You gave her your fire, your food, your heart. Now we give you ours. From this day, you are not alone. The warriors left as silently as they had come, but their presence never truly left. That winter, when Clara's roof cracked under snow, someone fixed it. When wolves circled near, arrows drove them off. And when she turned 12, a leather pouch arrived. Inside, a carved necklace in the shape of a fox, polished with care. Ayanna's sign that she had not forgotten. As the years passed, Clara became a legend. Some said she was a witch, others a spirit. But those who mocked or threatened her quickly learned that the trees near her cabin were not empty. Shadows watched. Protectors waited. Clara died an old woman, the fox necklace around her neck, her home surrounded by the same trees that had once hidden warriors. No grave marked her passing. But the forest remembered. The wind still whispers her name. And in quiet villages, elders tell the tale of a little orphan who gave all she had to a stranger, and in doing so, gained a family stronger than blood. Because sometimes the smallest light in the deepest dark becomes a beacon for generations. And Clara was that light.